Norwegian F-35s wrap up their NATO deployment to Iceland. Norwegian Air Force F-35 Lightning II fighter aircraft have just wrapped up a NATO deployment aimed at securing Iceland's airspace. 4 F-35s were on standby ready to be scrambled if an unidentified aircraft came close to Icelandic airspace. The air policing mission for Iceland is provided periodically by NATO member countries for 3 to 4 weeks at a time, as Iceland does not have armed forces of its own. NATO Air Policing, which takes place over the entire alliance 24 hours a day, 365 days a year, is a peacetime mission that aims to preserve the security of alliance airspace. The Norwegian deployment ran from 19 January until 9 February 2023. This is the second time Norway has sent fifth-generation fighter jets to cover Icelandic airspace. Footage includes shots of F-35 aircraft in a hangar, on the runway, and taking off. It also includes soundbites with Lieutenant Colonel Trond Hagen, Squadron Commander, 332 Squadron of the Royal Norwegian Air Force, and Thordis Kolbrun Reykjord Gylfadóttir, Minister for Foreign Affairs of Iceland. Iceland is an important player in this regard. As you know, they don't have their own armed forces, but they support with their Coast Guard and carry out their air surveillance mission here in Iceland, which suits their radar and systems to be able to establish and maintain 24/7 surveillance of the surrounding airspace. Integrating that part by being a first responder capability with their 2 ever-alert F-35s dispatched on their way to intercept and identify any kind of threat to the surrounding airspace. All F-35s are fifth-generation aircraft and have many capabilities that enhance the SA. So increasing situational awareness to undertake a mission like this. There are amazing sensors that constantly monitor what is happening around them. Thordis Kolbrun Reykjord Gylfadóttir, Minister for Foreign Affairs of Iceland, said, "Of course, it is a precaution in itself that we have air police because it demonstrates NATO's capability and commitment. So if we don't have that, we will be much more vulnerable here. We have never in history had an armed force, and although the country is rather big, the country is now about 370,000. And not so long ago they were even smaller, so it will always be small. We've had a bilateral defense treaty with the United States since 1951, and we're a founding member of NATO. It was a very big thing when we decided to become a member of NATO, a founding member at that, and it was very controversial. Today we have, over 75% support for Iceland being a member of NATO. And now it is written as the cornerstone of our national security policy. And obviously with the war that's going on right now, I think almost everyone can see what it means if we don't do it. By the fact that we have a war in Europe, it creates a new reality, a new norm that most of us were told and believed would never happen again. A closer threat can feel how much of a threat it is to neighboring Ukraine, which is our neighbor and which is part of NATO. And it also shows that the values that we value and that we build our society are under attack and are being tested. And if we can't be sure that those are the values that we're going to build for our society, Iceland has no chance in Putin's world. So it's very clear, and that's why we stand very firmly with Ukraine and say loudly in every chance we get that Ukraine has to win this war. That's the only way we can really have peace again in Europe. All content on Angie Norman is presented for educational purposes. Thumbnails and titles are for illustration only. This is very useful information today. I hope it is useful and becomes knowledge for all of you. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. See you later.